So this is an entry-level playbook for how to engage with some of your Monitorbase alerts. Particularly today we want to talk about the credit trigger inquiry alert. What that is a notification within 24 hours of some contact in your database having their credit pulled for a mortgage with someone else. So first thing first, when you get one of these alerts, it's going to arrive as a text message, an email message, a notification in your CRM. You can, based on that text message, you can see that William LeBaron had his credit pulled for a mortgage with someone else yesterday. You know, because you have a Monitorbase account, you know that that person, William in this instance, currently meets your credit standards. He's meeting the credit criteria. He's in the market for a mortgage. So there's no reason you shouldn't want to engage and re-engage William unless you had a previously bad experience helping William get a loan. But in most cases, you want to win that business back. This is kind of a gut punch, right? One of your people that you've worked with in the past is out there shopping for a loan with another person. So the first thing that I would do when I get one of these alerts is take a look at this person's history. Specifically, I'm looking for context so that I can engage them in a way that is personal, that makes sense to them. And so I'm going to look at things like their credit profile that that came with the alert. I'm going to go and look at my past history with them in the CRM. I'm going to try and identify, basic things like, do they currently have a mortgage? So this could be a purchase or a refinance, or maybe they don't have a mortgage on file. And so this is obviously a purchase situation. Do they have an FHA loan versus a VA loan or a conforming loan? Is the loan balance on that above the jumbo loan limits? And so, all of those elements are going to give you context for what you're going to be speaking to this person about. But on top of that, I want to go and look for history. When was the last time I spoke to them? What was the last engagement that we had? What was the product that they were trying to get the last time we spoke? Were they in the market for a refinance? Did I help them purchase their first home? Did I help them do a cash out? What was that context? So I feel like what we bring to the table as a service is really good information on who you should be talking to. And we're going to help move you along the path of what you should talk about, but it's your job to really dig and put that engagement plan together. So you've got the context, you understand where this person is coming from, where they're currently at, you're kind of armed with a reminder. Now, how do you engage? We really suggest multiple channels for engagement, whether that's phone calls, emails, text messages, sending a video through one of your service providers that offer video messaging. What are the methods that you can use to engage this person? Personally, I'm a big, text message kind of person. If you send me an email, I'm an inbox zero kind of person. I'm going to pay attention to the information there. My wife has 5,000 unread emails on her phone, and she opens every single letter that comes in the mail, where I would just as soon throw just about everything away that comes through the post office. And so you have to approach it with the thought in mind here that not everyone is going to respond to each medium the same. And so taking a multi-channel approach is very important. Multi-channel is great, but for the basics of engaging, we think a phone call, email, text message, voicemail, those are some fundamentals that are really low tech, easy for you to, immediately start executing. And you can follow a process for that quite simply. A good, kind of a good standard procedure, if you're going to be calling somebody, make sure that you send an email prior to that phone call. That allows that email to get into their inbox. If your email signature is inside of that email and you call from the same number in that signature, the phone will suggest, hey, maybe this is William LeBaron calling you. And that can be helpful because what you don't want to look like is, a spam call. You don't want to be calling from an unfamiliar number with a matching area code because that's just if you have a matching area code to me and you're calling my cell phone, there's just, in my experience, a 99% chance that you're a spam caller spoofing a local area code. And so something like that can really improve the likelihood that they pick up the phone on that first call. But besides that, if you do call, follow up with a quick email. So, I miss a phone call and I receive an email that says, hey, William, just following up, and it's a name that I recognize, a much higher likelihood that I'm going to pick up the phone and call you back if I have that immediate, assurance that you weren't a spam caller. Follow-up text messages, also a great strategy. But again, those are all just a multi-channel approach to this. One thing we really recommend is make this phone call about the customer. It's about creating that personal connection. It's about engaging about what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it, and how you, can give them a mortgage should be a secondary consideration in that conversation. It should be about understanding the person that you're talking to. Besides that, it's very useful to be able to reference the offer. So, hey, Steve, I sent you a letter in the mail. It lets you know that you've been pre-qualified for a mortgage. I periodically do this with my database. You can expect to see that letter here, or maybe you've already received the letter. That's like a physical thing that they can look for and expect, and that's going to work well in a voicemail script or that first conversation. Besides that, make it low commitment. You don't want to come to the table of high pressure sales where someone feels uncomfortable that you're really twisting their arm. That's not an experience that any of us enjoy. And so there's no reason that person that you're reaching out to is going to enjoy it either. So, I like to follow the rule of how would I like to be engaged? And I try and follow the rules that I would hope that person would follow. One thing we want to say, I mentioned text messages. It's really a useful tool, and text messages are incredible, and so many people are engaging through text now like they never have before. But we just want to advocate to be careful here, because if you've ever received a text message that starts out with, hey, free promotion, hey, we've got the lowest rate, the best savings, the so on, right? You get where I'm going with this. That immediately turns people off to what you're offering. It's going to a channel of communication that I reserve for people that I personally know and engage with, and it's kind of invading what I feel like has been a pretty sacred channel in my experience. And so without the opt-in, you don't want to jump out strong text message, aggressive sales tactics. But if you call and leave a voicemail and send a quick text, hey, Steve, just left you a voicemail. Let me know if you have any questions. Period. Send. Hey, Steve, this is William. Let me know if you have any questions. Period. Send. Right? Like that kind of an engagement is going to be non-committal. It's non-high pressure. It's not like pushing them. But now if I got your voicemail and I don't want to call you back, but I'm interested, that opens up the channel of me being able to text you, and that's a really useful thing. So just navigate these things a little bit carefully, and you'll find some good success. Particularly we mentioned this is focusing on inquiry alerts. That's, within 24 hours, within the previous 24 hours, this person has had their credit pulled for a mortgage. So a good suggestion here is treat that inquiry alert a little bit more time sensitive than some of the other alerts. This person is in the market right now, and they just started the process with someone else. But kind of keep in mind, just because they don't respond right now, even though you should engage immediately, just because they don't respond right now doesn't mean they won't respond later. People very regularly get disenchanted with the loan process as the process goes on, as it drags out. If you apply at your local bank and that lender is basically giving you a checklist as long as your arm of things that you need to get them, to show that you're serious, and you start working on it, you don't quite understand things, and this person isn't super available, by week 2 or week 3 or week 4, when things are being dragged out and you're not getting the help or the education you need, that's when someone is just so much more receptive than they were at first. Thanks for reaching out, William. I think I've got it is, day 1. But day 17, when they haven't been able to get a hold of Joe over at the bank for the past week, and they get that next message from you, or you reach out again, that's when they're significantly more responsive. And we see that over and over. And there's all kinds of marketing campaigns built specifically just on that phenomenon and looking for and harvesting the people that are being neglected by their current lender. And so don't give up after the first response. Schedule some notifications for yourself to follow up later, to follow up in 1 week, and then 2 weeks, and then 4 weeks. You're going to find out that those are all amazing opportunity timeframes, and it doesn't have to be a lot of work for you. That's something that you can schedule automatically from a CRM. You can do these things all at once when you get the alert and just set it and forget it. And that's really our goal here. So, so even 30 days later is just, it's not too late that you cannot help this person anymore. And that's what a lot of people don't recognize here. There are some people that are going to move through the process quickly, and there are some people that are going to take 9 months before they've completed that transaction. And if you play your cards right, you're going to be able to engage this person or a lot of these people early or later, but before that transaction has been completed, and really preserve that and keep that client for yourself. Bring them back to you, because someone that you close one loan with is highly likely to go out and close another loan with someone else. someone you closed 2 loans with is way more likely to come back to you. And if you can keep those people for multiple transactions, you'll find out that that becomes the most loyal database of clients that you can get. So those are just a couple of tips on how to use the Monitorbase inquiry alert, how to follow up, and some of the best practices around our system and what we think you can do to find success. If you have other suggestions or questions, always feel free to reach out. We're looking for feedback and always happy to help if there's anything that we can do to help you guys succeed in using our platform. So thanks so much. Have a great day.